I have been feeling a little out of sorts lately. Maybe it's just the time of year where you can sometimes feel unnecessarily glum. And just look at the state of this garden. Everything lifeless and plants reduced to mouldy old sticks. Even Graham the goose looks like he's given up on life. Maybe I should watch a Bond film to cheer me up. I don't have too many Bond films in physical format, and I am noticeably missing the Sean Connery collections. Well, what do I fancy today? Bit of more? No, I'm going for a bit of Brosnan. Invisible cars and Madonna fencing. Media Magnate goes mad. Boats and the O2 Arena. Or confusing satellite systems. Sean Bean and Mrs. on the Top. Yes, Goldeneye. I could watch that. Or could I do some Goldeneye gaming? No, not that version. That's completely terrible. I'm talking about the Nintendo 64 version. Yes, that might take me out of my doldrums. Let's get the Nintendo 64 going. It was only the other day I was reading about Goldeneye, and it reminded me that it was described as the best game ever made. It is certainly a very good game. Not sure if it's the best, but it's good. But I'll need a controller, and I'll need to get my Nintendo 64 ready, which I haven't done for a long time. Oh, it's a bit dusty. Let's get it going though. But wait! Something tells me I need to check my other machines first. No, not the SNES, but the Nintendo Switch. For I think something magical is about to happen. Yes! Can it be true? There is something new to play. It's Goldeneye for the Switch. Actual Goldeneye for the Nintendo Switch. Well, this will take me back. Bond is going to solve my glum. I can feel it. This is a momentous occasion. Best turn the volume up. I'm going full Bond, full Brosnan, full Goldeneye. But wait! I best grab a pad. Now, the original Nintendo 64 controller did have its criticizers, but once you got used to its unusual three-pronged attack formation design, you could settle in for the evening and enjoy a pleasant few hundred games of multiplayer Goldeneye to your heart's content. Whilst I do love the Nintendo 64, I am incredibly excited about the fact that the original Goldeneye has now landed on Nintendo's suitably fun transformation device. And if, like me, you have increasing frustration with the tiny Joy-Con controls, you will want to get yourself down to your local second-hand shopping facility and pick yourself up a nice tidy Switch Pro controller. Or if you like the smell of fresh cellophane, you may choose to purchase one of these beasts of a controller, brand spanking new, for an additional surcharge. But even more interestingly, we can tailor this controller to exactly how we want it to perform. Button mapping. There has been some criticism already about the controls of Goldeneye, but this is easily remedied by going into your Switch system settings and choosing button mapping. I would advise swapping around your L and R sticks. This is an easy process. You simply click in, you select which button you want to change, and then you tell it what button you now want it to be. So I have gone for the traditional swapping of the left and R sticks, and critically you must go into this section to ensure that the changes to the right and left stick are switched on for this to work. Otherwise you will be in deep trouble. I have also gone for a sneaky slide shuffle with my A and Y buttons for a bit of strafing, but you do not need to do this. But I would advise that this button layout works fantastically, and also you can conveniently save this as a preset, so you don't have to keep remapping each and every time. Just save the preset as an easy to remember title, i.e. the name of the game, and you will not have to do this in the future. Just remember to reset the controls if you are going to play another game, and that's all you need to do with that. I would recommend using the 1.2 solitaire control style to make this feel as close to the Nintendo 64 game that you can get. And I would highly recommend having a Nintendo Switch Pro controller, because as you can see here, now with your buttons remapped, you can effortlessly move forwards and backwards with the left stick, and left and right glances with your right stick. You can also strafe with the left stick, but if like me, you can also map the Y and A buttons if you feel you wish to strafe with these, and to make it a bit more like an original Nintendo 64 would feel. It's up to you. I have explained now how to map buttons, so please look at that to your heart's content, because there might be a few little additional tweaks, but this will get you going, and particularly with a Pro controller, this will make things feel rather good for you. And also, don't forget, if you are going to be playing this mainly on the Switch in handheld format without a Pro controller, you will have to do the button mapping for each Joy-Con accordingly. But don't worry, because you can also save that as a preset for your convenience. And what more can be said about Goldeneye? It's Goldeneye for the Switch. Another interesting tip that I found: when going into the main settings within Goldeneye, I would recommend putting it in widescreen 16:9, because this means you get an entire full screen, so you don't have any black bars on the left or right, and you don't have your little icon in the top left hand corner, which particularly started to annoy me. So if you want full screen action and you want it to fill the screen, do also make sure that you put it in widescreen mode. And look at this, we're back in the toilets, as it was back in 1997. There is some clear crispness to this version of Goldeneye, which I am sure you will be really glad to hear. So you can forget about the feeling of wearing permanently Vaseline smeared spectacles as you aimlessly wandered about getting shot at and walking into your own proximity mines from the N64 version. Everything is here as you remembered it. Every nook and cranny, every secret passage to the long forgotten body armour. So get tapping into your muscle memory, for this will give you a welcoming advantage for when you suit up and enter the multiplayer arena to play with your online chums. This version has very kindly taken you to Specsavers and given you a noticeable upgrade in your ophthalmological requirements to ensure you are fighting fit and battle ready. My good friend also got this game, and I have only recently discovered that he never played this when it came out. I told him to just think it was 1997, but he said he had already been playing Quake for a year and aiming quite happily with a mouse and much better graphics. But graphics do not solve everything, and even he has now had to admit that he can see how in the day Goldeneye would have been a big thing. I am also happy to report that he is currently enjoying his first experience of Goldeneye, and I hope to be meeting him soon online for some multiplayer madness. Well, it's certainly all happening now, explosions aplenty, but I'm cooked. That's it. Game over. Brosnan is down. Now, it would be unfair to do direct comparisons to the very old N64 console and the comparably very new Switch, but being as I do have both machines at my immediate disposal, I thought it would be at least interesting to see the two machines running Goldeneye. Now do bear in mind, I am running the Switch version of Goldeneye in widescreen, so the screen does look a little noticeably stretched, but you can have it normal full frame 4:3 if you so wish for ultimate authenticity. Do also bear in mind, these systems are running in quite low light in my gaming room, but hopefully you will already be able to see some minor differences, and it is quite clear how the Switch version is a lot nicer and crispier. The Nintendo 64 version reminds me of a soft puffed air prawn cocktail quaver, to the Switch version being a bag of Walker's standard but sharp salt and vinegar potato discs. I will leave you now to enjoy the last few moments of this comparison, and I wish you well on your Goldeneye journey, and I hope you too will feel jolly and happy as a warm wave of nostalgia washes over you like a familiar woolen jumper with approximately 15% wool and 85% acrylic. Goodbye, Mr. Bond.